The other day, Rosianna and Asana from Books and Quills posted a video about how to start BookTube, and it inspired me to make my own version of that video of my personal tips to people who are thinking about starting a BookTube channel. I'll leave their video down below because Asana is one of the first booktubers and one of the biggest booktubers, and she's one of the people that inspired me to make booktube videos. And Rosianna has been around the internet for like 10 years, so they have good advice from like a veteran's point of view, but I feel like I have some other tips that they didn't mention that are more useful. These tips are all based on my experiences or what I've seen through the booktube community in the last few years. My first advice to anyone who's thinking about starting a booktube channel is just to do it. If you go back to the archives of this channel, you'll see that when I started vlogging, I had no idea what I was doing. Eventually I found BookTube and I kind of funneled my attention to BookTube and figured out how to thrive in this community and create what I do because I love creating what I do. Don't worry if you don't know what you're doing. Most people don't know what they're doing when they're starting their own channels, and that's 1000% okay. The next tip I have is to not worry about what supplies you have to film. My first year or so on this YouTube channel, I used my MacBook webcam and hand-me-down camcorders that my various extended family members didn't need anymore that they let me have. It's okay to not have professional film stuff. You don't need it to be successful on YouTube. Side note, when I say successful, I don't mean like being like Zuella with millions of viewers. I mean creating what you want, enjoying what you create, and getting something out of it. My advice for you is to use an iPhone or a camera phone or even a webcam and start filming that way. Macs come with iMovie, which is a free and great, in my opinion, editing tool for the fact that it's free. I know a lot of PCs and Windows come with their own editing gear that I haven't tried, but I'm sure they're fine. And also public libraries have computers that you could use to edit videos. I know not all public libraries have that much technology in them, but a lot of public libraries have great computer labs that are free to the public. As far as lighting, my best tip is to use the sun. If you have a window and you know what time that window gets the most light during the day where you live, utilize that. If not, use a lamp. I use a lamp. That's how I do the lighting on my videos, and sometimes it's crappy, but it's alright, because the key is, if you are passionate about what you're saying, if you put effort into the actual content of your video, then you're doing great. The most popular video on BookTube are book hauls, undoubtedly. I want to make a whole other discussion about book hauls, but maybe I'll save that for after Vlogmas. People on BookTube share what they buy, which is great. You know, if you're gonna spend money, books are a great way to spend that money. But a lot of times, they have like a few dozen books in a book haul. That is hella expensive. My first few years on BookTube, I just used the library and thrift stores. A lot of thrift stores, you can just go and buy like brand new books for $1. It's totally affordable. If you don't have the time or the money to go and look for cheap books at thrift stores or at actual bookstores, use your library. Do library hauls. Library hauls are fun. You can also talk about ebooks and audiobooks that you get through online, because there's a lot of places that you can, through libraries, that you can get ebooks online, and that's a great way to talk too. You don't need to physically have the book. You can always insert a picture when you're editing, or even just say, I'm talking about this book, I don't have the cover, but you know, just talk about it. I think that's totally okay. If you don't know where to start when you're making your first video, and you can do something simple like just tell you 10 facts about me, or you can just pick up your favorite book, your favorite childhood book, and just talk about it. That's a great way to start. There's also the newbie booktube tag or new to booktube tag, something like that. I'll leave it down below. It's a great way to start a video and share a little bit about yourself. Trina from Between Chapters frequently shares a thread of new booktubers on Twitter. I'll leave her channel and her Twitter down below. I've struggled with this because honestly I'm a little lazy and I've been meaning to work on it more. But just comment on videos. The more frequently you comment on videos, the more likely the people who are making those videos will see that you care about what they're making. And when I say comment, I don't mean like sub for sub, hey, I just subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to mine. Like, that's cheesy, that's lame. Comment with a video talking about what they've been talking in their video. Say that if it's a book haul, and say, oh, I've been wanting to read that book too, or that book looks really interesting, or I read that book, it wasn't so great, but I'm interested in seeing your opinion. Stuff like that. That is good commenting. I'll watch tons of people's booktube channels, but I will only comment on my friends' booktube videos, which I want to get out of that rut because I want to make more friends on booktube because I love booktube and I love my booktube friends. So just so you know, like, no one's perfect on the commenting sphere. I usually just stick to my buds, but I'm working on that in the new year. I'm making more booktube friends. My last piece of advice for someone starting out booktube is create what you enjoy. You don't need to follow the booktube cookie cutter format. Don't do that. Break out of that boundary. Lots of bigger booktubers are realizing that they don't like the cookie cutter format and they're starting to make other videos. As long as you're passionate about what you're making, then I think you're doing fantastic and keep on doing it. I hope my advice is pretty good and helpful, and if you are thinking about starting a booktube channel, please tell me down below and then I can follow your progression. It'll be fun. If you have any advice for people who are starting booktube channels, please leave those comments down below as well. Let's try to get more people in our awesome little corner of the internet. Let's share our awesome community. That's it for today, and I'll see you with tomorrow's Vlogmas video.